Live from the KMOV Broadcast Center, this is News 4 at noon. Watching out for you.
Good afternoon and welcome to News 4 at noon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alexis Zotos in for Claire Kellett. It is another beautiful sunny day out there, but some big changes are on the way. We are tracking a lot of rain coming our way. First Alert meteorologist Leah Hill joins us. Leah, what are you tracking?
Right now, it's just a cold front that's to the south, and it's given us temperatures just a hair cooler than yesterday. So yesterday, our temperatures, they were in the 60s. Today, we're going to be in the 50s. And very shortly, that cold front and the high pressure moves out, and it's going to open the door for our next system to head our way. This low pressure that's over the southwest. It's going to come tomorrow, and with it, bringing our next cold front and also the potential for strong and even severe storms. And given that risk, tomorrow is a newly issued first alert weather day. Of course, our temperatures in the 50s. We rise a little bit more from this. Here are the latest details on that first alert weather day. The likely timing for seeing any stronger storms is between 1 and 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. We're going to have some rain out ahead of it, but they're not expected to be strong. Any storms that do manage to reach those severe limits will be capable of wind up to 60 miles per hour. But again, that's going to depend on if enough energy can build in advance of these storms. Additionally, we're looking at a rainfall risk with it, ½ inch to upwards of an inch, higher amounts out to the west, and some lightning also expected. So I'll dive into the nitty-gritty details coming up in a few minutes. Today, a bit cooler. Tomorrow, that first alert weather day. I have the new timing on what you can expect with the storms as they roll in, and also details on the falling temperatures for Thursday.
New at noon, St. Louis police are investigating a deadly two-car accident near downtown St. Louis. The wreck happened on Choteau at Missouri, the intersection just west of 22nd Street. That's near South Compton Avenue, just south of downtown. The accident involved a green Kia Soul and a black sedan. The woman driving the green car was pronounced dead at the scene. East Alton police continued to investigate a deadly fire at a storage unit this morning. Crews responded around 1:30 this morning. The police chief telling News 4 a body was found in one of the containers. Investigators are still working to identify that victim.
Occasionally we find one open, and like I said, it's been known for homeless people to occasionally occupy them, at least temporarily, for some shelter. It's possibly what this is, but it's just too early to tell.
These storage containers are located on West St. Louis Avenue near Route 3. We're told 4 or 5 units were damaged in total. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. And shortly after 1 a.m., a man was shot multiple times on Cora Avenue near Natural Bridge in North St. Louis. Police say he was taken to the hospital in unstable condition and homicide was requested. That shooting came hours after 2 men were shot on Floyd Avenue near Goodfellow. Police say a man in his 20s died after a shot to the chest. Another man, that one in his 30s, was shot in the stomach and the legs. Right now, he's recovering in the hospital, and police have not released any information about possible suspects at this time. We are learning new details about the man now charged with assault, accused of causing a serious accident in downtown St. Louis that led to a teenager having both her legs amputated. News 4 discovered Daniel Riley has pending charges for the last 2.5 years. He has a pending armed robbery case from August 2020, and according to court documents, that case was supposed to go to trial last July, but the charges were dismissed and then refiled. What we do know is that Riley was let out on bond 6 months ago. Since then, he's violated his GPS monitor more than 40 times, but his bond was never revoked. These are videos and photos from the accident Saturday night. Police say Riley ran a yield sign at 11th and St. Charles. He then hit the teen, then a parked car, and then the car rolled over. Charges say Riley never tried to brake. The 16-year-old girl he's accused of hitting was visiting from Tennessee for a volleyball tournament. Janae Edmondson is in critical condition and will likely be in the hospital for months.
The road in front of Janae is tough. There's going to be a lot of challenges ahead, financial challenges, emotional challenges, that we're hoping that our community can embrace this family as she goes through this unique time in a life that you could never imagine. This is an unthinkable situation that she has to encounter right now.
There is a GoFundMe page set up to help the family with the mounting medical costs. We have a link to that online and on our KMOV News app. Riley is expected in court on March 1st. Two boys are now in custody after a 15-year-old girl was shot dead in St. Charles on Saturday night. They are now in custody after that shooting, and police are pointing to help from nearby neighbors, leading them to the arrest. This happened near the corner of Perry and Oak in the city of St. Charles. Police now telling us they believe the suspect seen here in this surveillance video walking towards the crime scene about 5 minutes before the gunshots can be heard. The two suspects are both from St. Charles and are 16 and 17 years old.
The people in the video, we believe, are the two people involved in this homicide investigation, but it was community help, like these Ring cameras, that we were able to identify them so quickly.
We did ask police if they will seek to charge these teens as adults. They tell us that's a decision for the family courts to make. The new St. Louis police chief is emphasizing the importance of using community programs to fight crime in the city.
It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to happen with the ground game.
Chief Robert Tracy said similar community programs have proven successful in other cities he's worked. In his first 30 days, the new chief has met with the Juvenile Detention Center to collaborate on the fight to address juvenile crime.
Let's find out what's going on with these kids. Rather than releasing them right away, let's talk to the parents and also talk to the kids and see if there's things that we can do to help so they don't go out and reoffend. Or I want to protect them as well. You're running around with a gun at that time of night. You know what? Something bad can happen to them as well.
Chief Tracy says he is also working with county and other municipal police departments to address regional crime issues. Only on 4, a new crime alert in the metro. This is a TikTok trend that's costing homeowners in Jefferson County hundreds of dollars in damages. Kids are being caught on camera kicking front doors and taking off, all for likes and follows. The trend is shattering glass and busting doors. We talked to a man in Arnold who's worried this trend could have deadly consequences.
I'm afraid that one of these kids is going to be met at the door by somebody with a gun or something, and they're going to get themselves shot or just scared half to death. And I have to replace.
It is not just front doors. Others say they've had pots broken and garages damaged. If you're caught doing this, you could face serious consequences and be forced to pay restitution and fines. Today is the first day of early voting for the March 7th primary in St. Louis City. You can vote at the City Election Board and at 3 city public libraries. In this primary, voters will be asked to choose who should be the new alderman of the city's shrunken board, which is going from 28 to 14 wards. The top 2 candidates in each ward will move on to April's general election. And the Missouri Senate will discuss legislation stopping transition procedures for transgender kids. It includes puberty blockers and hormone therapy for anyone younger than 18. Now, there are exemptions if a doctor believes a patient is in danger if they don't receive treatment. Yesterday, both the Senate and House committees moved the bill forward. The Missouri Senate is also expected to take up legislation giving parents more control over where their kids go to school. The bills allow districts to decide if and how many students can transfer. St. Louis public schools would be exempt from these bills due to a desegregation settlement. Both bills could go into effect next year if passed. And in O'Fallon, the Illinois City Council is expected to discuss plans for an indoor 50,000 square foot baseball complex. That is slated for a site on Old Collinsville Road and will be completed with 2 outdoor baseball fields. Neighbors, though, are concerned about flooding problems in the area. Last summer, one neighbor captured these images of the water in his backyard. Beyond his fence is the field where the development is planned. The complex, called The Barn, is an all-encompassing baseball facility. O'Fallon City Council will soon vote on rezoning the area, and neighbors say they just want to make sure it doesn't make the flooding worse.
And if they don't take care of it, their ball fields might get flooded, but yet it might even back all this back up to where these people are having problems again.
I think this is going to be great for the economy. I just want it to be relatively designed within context of what we already have.
Now, the owners of the planned complex did not return messages for an interview, but notes from a meeting in January show that the developers plan for a retention pond to capture runoff. Still ahead on News 4 at noon, fresh off his surprise visit to Ukraine, what President Biden is doing today as he continues his trip overseas.
It was very upsetting.
She thought she landed her dream job, helping visually impaired students just like her, until...
Do you think you were discriminated against?
Yes, I do.
Why wasn't this guide dog allowed at the local school her longtime handler was hired by?
Who was impacted the most is the student.
She reached out to News 4 Investigates for answers.
It seems like there's still so much to be done.
Tonight at 10.
Watching out for you.
It's a grand opening sale at Claus Furniture. Our 4th store is now open, so we're celebrating with 4 big offers. Save up to 50% off. Get an extra $100 off. Free delivery plus 72 months special financing.